please hit that subscribe button.
Hey everybody.
Better suited to win the Stanley Cup this season. If you are new to the channel, Washington Capitals, the Boston Bruins.
Locked on and he scored! And we're live. Hey everybody, so it's time for another episode of Enforcer Hall of Fame, where I induct some of the greatest fighters and enforcers in NHL history into their own Hall of Fame. And today we're going to be talking about one of the toughest players to play in the 90s and early 2000s, a Vancouver Canucks legend, Gino Odjick. Gino Odjick played 605 career games in the NHL, scoring 64 goals, 73 assists for 137 points, and putting up a whopping 2,567 career penalty minutes in just over 600 career games. That is absolutely incredible. 154 career fights between the regular season and postseason. This guy, best known for his time with the Vancouver Canucks, spent most of his career with the Vancouver Canucks, an absolute legend up there. Just incredibly tough player, incredibly scrappy guy. His most fights in a season came in 1991-92 with Vancouver. He had 33 fights that season. His best offensive season came with Vancouver in 1993-94. He had 29 points that season, including 16 goals. So obviously he could chip in a little bit offensively as well, especially early in his career. 3 times in his NHL career he hit 300 penalty minutes or more in a season, and 6 seasons in his NHL career he hit 200 penalty minutes or more, and obviously he had even more with 100 or more. So certainly not afraid to rack up the penalty minutes. And it's interesting because we've seen guys around the 150 fight mark with about 1,000 less penalty minutes than Odjick had in his career. A lot of those penalty minutes did not come from fights. They came from misconducts and other things because, outside of his first couple years in the league, Odjick never hit the 20 fight mark in a single season after his 3rd year in the league. He was very active his first 3 seasons fighting, but after that he never hit the 20 fight mark again in a season. So while he was actively fighting and usually somewhere between 10 to 20 fights, he never hit 20 or went over 20 again after his 3rd year. A lot of these penalty minutes didn't come from fighting majors. They came from misconducts and other things, and he was certainly not afraid to go after players and get kicked out of a game or get a 10-minute misconduct or anything like that. It's incredible. Last episode we were talking about Kevin McClelland, who I believe had somewhere around 1,600 penalty minutes. Similar number of fights, almost 1,000 less penalty minutes for McClelland than Odjick had, with a similar number of fights and similar number of games played. So, obviously Odjick picked up penalty minutes elsewhere other than just fighting. But this guy, an absolute Vancouver Canucks legend, played with them from 1990 all the way until 1998. Then he went to the New York Islanders for a few seasons from 1998 to 2000. And then he spent his last few years in the league from 2000 to 2002, split between the Philadelphia Flyers and the Montreal Canadiens. But he is best known as a Vancouver Canuck. Still lives in Vancouver, I believe. The last I've heard or looked up, he still lives in Vancouver. He's an absolute legend there. Their toughest guy from the decade of the 90s, without a doubt. And an absolute enforcing legend in the NHL. Now, since his retirement, he's actually recently had some health issues. Unfortunately, he's had a rare blood disorder and heart issue that was at one point considered terminal, but fortunately there's good news on that front. It's been said that he's tried an experimental treatment, and that treatment seems to be working, so the condition is no longer considered terminal. So Gino Odjick is still alive, still living in Vancouver, and absolutely wishing him all the best. He put together a legendary NHL career as an enforcer, and just one of the toughest guys in the NHL during the 1990s. So Gino Odjick, absolutely deserving of being in the Enforcer Hall of Fame. Just a really, really tough guy, not afraid to drop the gloves with anybody, and he absolute legend when it comes to the Vancouver Canucks. So Gino Odjick is now in the Enforcer Hall of Fame. I want to thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.